How are you? Boy, it's getting nice in Boston. It's like, May 18th. Just announced that state of emergency is going to be over, so I don't know what that means. I'm going to be running around with no mask, just jumping around. It's going to be crazy. Craziness. So today, I wanted to talk to you today about finding a marketing company that is not going to do the same old thing. So, we talked about marketing companies that, advertise of like, I'll get you 10 leads per day. Otherwise, I'll give you a check for $10,000. So, we all know the trap with those is that, they have a out clause. So, if they don't get you the 10 leads a day or 100 leads a day, then they're able to push back, another week or two, and then winds up taking 6 months, and you're kind of on the hook, and could be just detrimental to your business, basically. Kind of stuck with this like boulder behind you. But basically, you're looking for a marketing company that's either a kind of like, I hate to use the word cutting edge, but it's in the industry and is on, listen, I enjoy what I do. I'm a I'm a nerd. So it's like I'm a marketing nerd. So it's like I get into like the nooks and crannies of what's happening in the marketplace. Right now, recently, we all got a big chuckle because Tim Cook just whacked, Zuckerberg. And the radioactive fallout from that should be very interesting. And stuff like that interests me and my peers of what's going to happen in the marketplace. And so if you are not working with a company that finds stuff like that very interesting and how that's going to affect their ad layout, is that going to mean more Google AdWords? Is that going to mean waiting for the new platform with Apple and AT&T? That definitely should be dialing back on their Facebook ads, at least 20%. If that kind of stuff isn't in the discussion with you, because I would definitely have that discussion with you, what's happening in the marketplace, because you deserve to have that discussion, then, that's not the kind of partner I want to have. I want to have someone who's going to educate me on what's happening in the marketplace. At least I can go to dinner and kind of like impress people with my marketing team said, at least get that benefit of it. But at least you have somebody that's kind of in the loop and is kind of in, what's happening. You don't want a lawyer who hasn't like been updated in the law for the last 50 years. So be wary. You have somebody who's like enjoys, what they do in the marketplace and is like up on the marketplace and what's happening, right? So that's important. The other thing too is that to have somebody who, is going to be there, in the sense of have uh, uh, a customized plan for your particular law practice. So it's like, I'm very, fastidious in sitting down with my client and figuring out what's good for them and what's not. And it changes minute by minute. So it's like, basically, I sit down with somebody and I figure out, and I'm usually pretty, you know, drilled down of exactly, what they're looking for. And then I let the digital and the other marketing, kind of take me on a very small budget. So in the beginning of the plan, we may not see as many leads as we want, but I want to get the data in to kind of figure out where we are with what your perception is, which, surprise, surprise, may be different than exactly what's happening in the marketplace. That's why I hired someone like me. So then once we kind of lock into what's happening in the marketplace, we, double down and start moving up the revenue ladder and may do $5 a day, $10 a day, $20 a day, $30 a day. Keeping the ROI in play and all that stuff, and seeing what ads are working, what keywords are working, what things like that, what other, the high end traditional marketing is working, what we could add to that as things are going on, and then down the road, bringing in the retargeting end of it and all that stuff is that, things are going well, we're getting the ROI factors that we're getting. If we're doing a straight ROI bid, which probably won't happen. You're talking about 1.75, or what you're talking about is a 75% back on every dollar we spend. So every dollar you spend, right, you're going to get that dollar back plus 75 cents. That's the kind of return you want, right? At least to get things kind of going along. So, those are the returns that are starting to make sense. When the campaign's starting to kick in correctly. So, if you think about that as a slot machine, it's that if you just sit there with a bucket of quarters and you're putting one in, dollars worth of quarters in, and you're getting $1.75 back, and you're just sitting there, that's pretty good. So that's a good start, where we want to go. And then as we move on with the progression, the cost per conversion, that's, of actually the action of the website of what we're looking for it to do is going to keep decreasing. And then on our end, the conversion itself will also decrease. So, if the conversion is to actually have a call into somebody, to a call center, to make an appointment with an attorney, that's, the conversion we're looking for. And the price per conversion, starts at a certain number, and then, after a period of time, we can knock that down and keep knocking it down. So as time goes on. So those are the kind of factors that we're looking at that are dynamic and not static. So it's like we got to make sure we stay in the dynamic end of that, and not static for your particular business. That's why, you may be in immigration law, and there might be an immigration law down the street, and people ask me like, oh, well, what's going to happen? Well, that immigration law might be, have one or two factors that are different than your law, and they could be subtle, and that's okay. But we're going to be able to, go through different keywords that are going to make that different. So that's going to make our planning better. So, it's all about tracking and keywords. And then, with our new partnerships with other larger marketing companies that we're always trying to work out with, to bring more and more and more tools in for us to use, ClickFunnels and, HubSpot and keyword finders and, on and on and on and on. We bring these partners in to help us help you. So, that's how we handle all that stuff. So anyway, those are the two things we want. We want somebody, when you're looking at somebody, you want somebody who's really interested on a grandeur level, that you could ask questions to and say, what do you think is happening in the marketplace and how that's going to affect my business, this year, next year. How do you think that's being headed? And two, somebody who's going to, how are you going to drill down and affect my business? What tools do you have, and, that you're using for other lawyers, that are you going to, put a little spin on, to affect my particular business. So, don't be dull. We don't want dull. We want somebody on their tippy toes all the time. John Flynn.